action.
All right, so I'm going to show you another skill today. This is making some more finer details, okay? So I have my bit of plasticine here. I don't need all of this. So in front of you, you should have some paddle pop sticks. We can use these to cut off smaller amounts. Just makes it a bit cleaner rather than just ripping, which stretches it and distorts the shape, okay? So we don't want to really be ripping off bits. We can just use our little paddle pop stick to cut off a little bit. All right, I'm going to start making a dog's head. So I'm going to start with a little bit about this size. And I'm just going to play around with it till it warms up a bit, so then I can start shaping it a bit easier. And then I'm going to start shaping it into the shape I want. So to begin with, I'm going to start with a bit of a ball. So I'm just going to roll it in my hands. Okay, so we've got a nice sort of ball shape, and now I'm going to just, using some pinching motions, just start to shape it to the shape I want. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with about that sort of shape. Now, that's not just my dog yet, so I know a dog needs some ears, so I'm going to cut off a little bit for one ear and a little bit for the other. Now, I want my ears to look as close to identical to each other as possible. And I'm going to give mine some stand-up little ears, so I actually don't need all of this, so I might take some of that off. Okay, I'm just going to press that down a bit. Now, I need to press it on, otherwise it's going to fall off, so I like to sometimes gently press down just so it starts to join a bit better, and then I can reshape it as I need. Now I'll do the same thing with the other side, so I'm making sort of like a triangle sort of ear. Do it on the other side as well. Make sure they're joined, and now I've kind of got my dog's two ears and his shape of his head. I've got some black and I've got some white now, and I'm going to use these two colors to make his nose and his eyes. I'm going to start with the nose. Again, I'm just going to get a little bit, don't need too much. Roll it into a small little ball, and then I'm just going to press that onto his nose. Same with the eyes. I'm going to start with the white part of the eye first. Now, just be careful when you are using white. If you've got any leftover colors on your hands, that will transfer to the white, and that could change the color. Because I want it to be white, I don't want it to be pink or gray or anything. So this orange on my fingernails, I'd make sure that that's come off. All right, same thing. I'm going to roll it around. That's probably even too big, so I might cut that down a little bit, maybe in half. That's probably enough. Roll it so I get a nice little ball shape. And then I'm actually going to squash it a little bit so it becomes a bit more of a flat circle. Now I've looked on that, that's probably a bit too big, so I might even change that shape a little bit as well. So I'm going to cut off a little bit more. Same thing, roll into a circle, flatten it a little bit, and then press it on. Now this gets a bit tricky when we're working with some finer detail, that we don't want to just squash our whole head that we've been working on. Same thing with the other side. I want to make the eye as close to the same size as possible. Same thing, start with a little ball, squash it a little bit, place it on, and now I've got his two white parts of his eyes. I just need to do the black. Now I will only need a tiny little bit for each bit of the pupil. Okay, I made a little ball very quickly. I'm just going to press that on. Now as you can see, when I pressed it down, it flattened it, so we do need to be quite careful with the amount that we're using. Same thing, start with a tiny little bit, press it on, and there we go. So now I've made my dog's head, which used quite a few different parts. So I used the part for the head, two parts for the ears, the eyes, and then the nose. And then if I wanted to join that, I would probably maybe get a toothpick to stick it in to join it to the body, okay? But again, when we're joining things, we need to be very careful that we're not just going to squash it. So you can see I'm pushing down on the toothpick as much as I can, and then I might need to very gently push down with the head, okay? Being careful not to squash it. So there's that technique on how to make the head.